is super guys. In other days class, we have discussed about Spring MVC flow. Can we revise that flow fastly at once? Browser gives request. Number one. Number two, dispatcher servlet traps and takes the request. Number three, dispatcher servlet handovers the request to whom, guys? Dispatcher servlet handovers the request to whom, guys? Handler mapping component, right now, boss? Number four, handler mapping component searches in what? All the handler classes for the right handler method whose request URI matches with handler method request path. Number five, handler mapping component takes that handler method signature, controller class bean ID, and passes to dispatcher servlet. That is 5 Babu. Number six, dispatcher servlet gets controller class object from IOC container and calls handler method. Number seven, okay. Number seven, handler method either directly process the request or process the request by taking the support of what? Service comma DAO classes and keeps the results in model attributes. Keeps the results in model attributes. Right now, boss?
Recording in progress.
No, method name can be anything, everything. Every handler method is not identified with method name, is identified with request path. It is identified with its request path, right? Super. Signature of handler method is flexible always. That means we can take our choice method name, return type, and params. Right now, boss? We can take our choice method name, return type, params, and etc. Boss. Super. Tell me, guys. Since controller class is user defined class having stereotype annotation, so we must enable component scanning using context colon component scan tag na boss. Come on, guys. Array, this is configured with what? Controller. Controller is what? Stereotype annotation. Controller is what? Stereotype annotation. Getting my point, boss? Since controller is user-defined class having stereotype annotation, so we must enable component scanning using context colon component scan base package, right? webinf/dispatcher-servlet.xml. There we have to write component scanning or not. DS logical name -servlet.xml. DS logical name -servlet.xml. So now you got idea, guys, how to develop the controller class. Don't worry about the numbers. Numbers I will talk. Can I ask a few questions? Okay. How to Java class as controller class in Spring MVC application? What is the annotation we should use for that? What is the annotation we should use for it? At the rate controller. Okay. It is taken on one per which module? One per what basis? Module basis. But how to process different requests coming from different end users? Different requests coming from different end users from different places. How to process, guys? By taking multiple handler methods. Yeah. Every handler method is identified with request path. Request path must start with a slash. Handler method signatures are fixed, flexible. Fixed or flexible, guys? Stereotype annotations are multiple annotations having similar functionality. At the rate component, at the rate service, at the rate controller, at the rate repository, at the rate configuration, at the rate rest controller, at the rate controller advice. All these are given to make Java classes as Spring Bean with additional behavior. This is the basic annotation, guys. Remaining all are what? Stereotype annotations. Okay. Spring Bean come service class. Spring Bean come controller class. Spring Bean come repository class. Nothing but DAO class. Spring Bean come configuration class, right? When XML is not there, we use this class, guys. Spring Bean come REST controller. You will understand in RESTful web services. Okay, Spring Bean come advice class, guys. Controller advice, it is useful in exception handling. Okay, all these are stereotype annotation. All are similar annotation with additional behavior. All these are similar annotation with additional behavior. Got it? In one controller class, can we keep multiple handler methods? Handler method signatures are fixed? No. Every handler method is identified with every handler method is identified with its request path, right? Super. Yeah, next is what, guys? Dispatcher servlet. The ready-made front controller servlet in Spring MVC-version.jar. In Spring MVC-version.jar. Everyone getting my point there, guys? Okay, guys. Servlet component is identified by servlet container. Servlet component is identified by servlet container using its URL path. Using its URL path. Whereas, tell me. Whereas, what is there, guys? Whereas, handler method of handler or controller class in Spring MVC application is identified by its request. The ready-made front controller servlet in so and so jar, guys. It's a configuration in web.xml/URL pattern is required to trap all requests and responses. It is one per Spring MVC web application. Super. Web.xml. Other day I have given same thing I have given today, guys. Web app, servlet, it's a logical name, guys. Dispatcher is the logical name, right? This is fully qualified Java class acting as front controller servlet. Super. This is load on startup one LOS priority value. LOS priority value. Okay. Array load on startup priority value. Why should I take, guys? Dispatcher servlet is hard. Most important component of Spring MVC application. If that class object is created during server startup or during deployment of web application, it will be very much ready before any request to come and becomes ready to give all kind of services now, boss. Becomes very much ready to give all kind of services now, boss. Becomes very much ready to give all kind of services. Becomes very much ready to give all kind of services. I want reply. I want reply. Come on, guys. Array, listen, guys. In office, admin is there. Faculties are there. Faculty should start the class at 7 means admin should be ready, keep everything ready by 6:30 na boss. Admin should keep everything ready by 6:30. Admin itself comes by 7:30. Do you think faculty can start the session by 7 a.m.? Do you think faculty can start the session by 7 a.m.? Not possible. And what is the most important component in Spring MVC application? Dispatcher servlet. If dispatcher servlet object is created when I give first request, when it has to keep other objects ready, when it has to use those objects for request processing, everything is delay na boss. If dispatcher servlet object is ready, the moment I deploy the web application, by that time first request come, dispatcher servlet object is ready means it keeps other objects also ready na boss. So that first request processing time will be reduced or not. So that's why better to enable load on startup or not, guys. Servlet mapping logical name. This logical name should match. This is URL pattern. This is URL pattern. Right now, boss? Okay. Number 1 means higher priority, boss. Higher priority. Since dispatcher servlet component controls all the activities of Spring MVC application, right? All the activities of Spring MVC application. Since the dispatcher servlet component controls all the activities of Spring MVC application. What application, guys? Spring MVC or Spring Web MVC application. Spring MVC application or Spring Web MVC application. Tell me, my dear. It is recommended to have the instantiation on that class either during server startup or during server startup or during tell me, guys, deployment of the web application. Okay. For this, we need to enable load on startup on dispatcher server. For this, we need to enable load on startup on dispatchers. Convinced, my dear? Got it? Yes. No. Slash means all requests. If you take extension match, directory match, multiple requests only. If you want to see all requests, slash is the better one, boss. Super. Okay. Yeah. How many components we completed? Handler mapping we completed. Dispatcher servlet we completed. Okay. We are not developing. We already there in a jar file. We are just configuring as a servlet with /URL pattern. Handler mapping, boss. This is also ready-made one. This is also ready-made one, right? Ready-made component. Are only view components and handler classes we develop manually. Remaining all are ready-made ones. Ready-made component. This component is one per web application, Spring MVC web application. This component takes incoming request and URL from the dispatcher servlet to search for appropriate handler method and handler class to process the request. Once it is found, it will return that handler class bean ID and handler method signature back to DS. From the beginning, I'm shouting on this now, boss. All handler mapping classes are implementation classes of handler mapping interface. What interface, guys? Handler mapping interface. Ready-made, na? It's a ready-made interface, guys. Bean name URL handler mapping, simple URL handler mapping, request mapping URL handler mapping. We generally use lots of ready-made handler mapping classes by configuring them as Spring Bean in Spring Bean configuration file. In dispatcher-servlet.xml, see guys, Bean class. A ready-made class is configured as a Spring Bean now, boss. But good news, if you don't configure also, no problem. From Spring 5.x onwards, if no handler mapping is configured, the default handler mapping that will be taken is request mapping info handler mapping. Right now, boss? Request mapping info handler mapping. Are you understanding my statement? I think info is also not there. Request mapping handler mapping. Request mapping handler mapping. In latest versions of Spring MVC application 5.x, if no handler mapping is configured, the default handler mapping is what? Request mapping, handler mapping. Request mapping, handler mapping. Clear, guys? Understood my statement, guys? Got the clarity, my dear? Everyone understanding my statement? Yeah, this is also ready-made. If you don't configure also, it will be taken automatically. It's a good news or not? Super. Configuring above class as Spring Bean is optional because that class comes as a default handler mapping component in Spring 5.x Spring MVC application. This is optional to do the boss. Next, view resolver. It is also ready-made component now, boss. Ready-made component. Ready-made component. Okay, what is handler class? Handler class, handler class. User-defined component. This is my user-defined component. Yes, boss. Now listen. It is one per Spring MVC application. It is also one will be taken. All view resolver classes are implementation class of view resolver interface. We generally work with lots of predefined view resolver classes by configuring them as Spring Beans in Spring Bean configuration file. Internal resource view resolver, URL based view resolver, resource bundle view resolver, and etc. Many names are there. This component gives view object back to DS, having the physical view component name and location by taking the logical view name from the dispatcher server. By simply taking the logical view name from the dispatcher server. Everyone getting my point there or not? Internal resource view resolver, URL based view resolver, resource bundle view resolver, and etc. Clear, my dear? Got the point, my dear? This view component gives view object. Listen, this is very important. Back to DS, having physical view component name and location by taking the LVN from DS. By taking the LVN from the DS. Check it out. What it is taking from DS, guys? Logical view name. What it will give, guys? Physical view component name and location. How? In the form of view object. View object means what? View interface implementation class object. View interface implementation class object. Right now, boss? Okay, guys. To locate the view components, servlet JSP components of web application, which are placed in private area of the web application. Array, private area means, you know, na? Outside WebINF area in web application is called what? Public area. Inside WebINF area is called what? Private area. Come on. For better protection, better to keep web components in private area, public area. Come on, my dear. You know this fact? Did you study Servlet JSP? WebINF and its subfolders is technically called as what? Private area of the web application. Outside WebINF area is called public area. Right now, boss? Your view component JSPs are there. Restricted area, private area, all are one and the same. Tell me, guys. Your view components are there in private area. I want to locate the private area view components by taking the support of special view resolver. What is the special view resolver we are having for that purpose? Internal resource view resolver. What is the view resolver we are having? Internal resource view resolver is there for that purpose. What is the view resolver we are having, my dear? Internal resource view resolver is there, right? To locate the view components, Servlet JSP components of web application, which are placed in private area of the web application, inside WebINF and its subfolders. We prefer using internal resource view resolver by giving view component location as the prefix value and extension as the suffix value. Okay. View component location as the prefix value and extension as the suffix value. Now listen carefully, guys. In dispatcher-servlet.xml, I configured internal resource as view resolver. Let us assume our view component is there. WebINF folder, pages folder, home.jsp. Home.jsp. This is fixed, guys. This is my choice. This is JSP file name. This is also our choice, right? This is also our choice. Okay, pages is not fixed, guys. Any name. Now listen carefully. I want to locate this home.jsp. Let us assume home is coming as a logical view name. Okay, now what is the prefix, guys? Property name prefix /WebINF /pages/ location of the view component. Location of the view component. /WebINF /pages/. What is the suffix? Suffix means later word. .jsp. Extension of the view component. Extension of the view component. That is what. Internal resource view resolver uses the following formula to get physical view component name and location. The physical view component name and location. What is that, guys? Prefix plus logical view name plus suffix. What is prefix, guys? This. What is logical view name? Let us assume home. Let us assume home. What is suffix, guys? .jsp. Altogether, what is there, guys? Altogether, what is there? Okay, now listen. This controller class is returning what logical view name? Is it the LVM? Is it the logical view name? Now tell me all together. Now tell me all together. What is the prefix here? /web/nf/pages. /web/nf/pages. What is the logical view name? Home. What is the JS suffix? What is the suffix? .js. If you put all together, what is there, guys? /web/nf/pages/home.js. Okay, this view resolver gives this view object having name and location of the physical view component or having name and location of the physical view component or not. Okay, this is going to be working style of internal resource view resolver. What is the controller class is returning? Controller class returning what? Logical view name home. Okay, that logical view name goes to whom? Internal resource view resolver. What it returns? View object. Having what? Physical view component name and location. Using what formula? Using what formula? Prefix plus logical view name plus suffix. What is prefix? /web/nf/pages/. What is logical view name? Home. What is suffix? .jsp. Altogether, we are getting view object having physical view component name and location or not? We are getting view object having physical view component name and location or the web/nf and subfolders are called private area of the web application, whereas the outside area of web/nf folder is called public area of web application. For better security, we prefer placing JSP files in what? Private area. Can I say this is private area component, guys? But to locate such private area web component, we need a special view resolver. What is that? Internal resource view resolver. What is that view resolver, guys? Internal resource view resolver. Right now, boss? Internal resource view resolver. Clear, guys? Now, lastly, what is there? Okay, LVN can be anything now, boss. If LVN is X, it looks for X.jsp. If LVN is Y, it looks for Y.jsp. If LVN is what? Z, it looks for Z.jsp. Right now, boss? So, physical view component, guys. We can take any technology component as the view component, like HTML files, JSP files, free marker, velocity, JavaScript files, but we must take them based on the view resolver and its configuration. Okay, according to view resolver only, we should decide the technology. Suppose I have a home.jsp as a view component. Why? Because view resolver extension says .jsp. Okay, home.jsp, welcome to Spring MVC. In entire Spring MVC application, only view components and controller classes are user-defined components. The remaining all components are predefined components. So we just need to know how to configure them. We just need to know how to configure them. Come on, guys. Understood my statement, guys? We just need to know how to configure them. We just need to know how to configure. Comfortable, guys? Only view components and controller components are user-defined. This is a user-defined component. User-defined component words. Everyone convinced with my statement, guys? Got the point, my dear? Okay, done. Okay, now all components are there. How this JSP executes, through flow of execution, I'm going to tell you. Listen, this is not complete application development, just all components are developed now, that's why. Request from browser, HTTP localhost 2525. I'm assuming this application is deployed in Tomcat server. This is the web application name, guys. And welcome is the request path. Welcome is the request path. Am I audible, guys? Am I audible? Am I loud and clear? Okay, check your side. Please check your side. HTTP is the protocol, localhost 2525. Host name and port number of the web server, right? MVC pros name, web application name. So Spring MVC project name. Spring MVC project name. Okay, welcome request. Welcome. Yeah. We typed this one, yeah, guys. Who traps and takes the request, guys? Dispatcher servlet B. Who traps and takes the request, guys? Dispatcher servlet B. Handovers the request to whom, guys? This is code-based flow. Handler mapping C. Handovers the request to whom, guys? Handler mapping C. This handler mapping searches for the handler method whose request path is welcome. 4 question mark. D question mark. D question mark. Searching for the handler method whose request path is welcome. Now takes this controller class BID, handler method signature, and passes to dispatcher servlet. What is it? E. E. Dispatcher servlet. Dispatcher servlet gets a controller class object, calls the handler method H. G. Here no logic, nothing is there. Returning just logical view name. G. Returning just logical view name. What do you say, guys? G. What is the logical view name? Home. This logical view name goes to dispatcher servlet. G. H. What is the logical view name? Home. What is the logical view name? Home. H. That logical view name comes to what, guys? View resolver. That logical view name comes to view resolver. I. View resolver gives view object J. In this view object, what will be there? Physical view component name and location will be there. The physical view component name and location will be there. How? Prefix plus logical view name plus suffix. What is the logical view name it has got, guys? Home. What is the logical view name it has got, guys? Home. What is prefix, guys? Slash webinf slash pages. This. What is the suffix we got, guys? .jsp. All three things together, we got view object having physical view component or not. We got view object having physical view component or not. Super. We got the view object. We got the view object here. Right now, boss? After that, what next, guys? After that, what next? This view object goes to dispatcher servlet. This view object goes to dispatcher servlet. Right now, boss? Tell me what dispatcher servlet will do. What dispatcher servlet will do? Will execute what? Will execute what? Physical view component, right? Physical view component, that is I. Home.jsp, this code executes. This code generated output. Nothing but formatted result. Goes to dispatcher servlet. That is J. That is J. Dispatcher servlet takes that formatted result, sends to browser as a response. Sends to browser as a response. That is not J, na? That is K. Na? Where is J then? I think, did I miss the number? Did I miss the number, guys? Execution is what? I. Okay, then it should be J. K is not required. It should be J. It should be J. J. Okay. Generated output goes to browser as a response. So this is going to be what? K. I think alphabet's gone wrong, guys. This is going to be this one. This is going to be K. Alphabet's gone wrong. I think now we got code-based flow of execution, guys. I think your brain is working more sharply than earlier. I have given diagram-based flow. Now I am giving code-based flow. Is it not interesting? The view object also J is there. 1 minute. J. Okay, this will go there. K. Oh, 1 minute, 1 minute. This will go there. K. 1 minute, 1 minute. It executes the view component L. Actually, I misread it. L. That's fine. Okay. Then M. That's right. M. Okay. Execution of this one. M. Actually, I read L as I. Their mistake has come. Okay. Actually, originally it is perfectly there. Originally it is perfectly there. Don't worry. I will give the flow of execution one more time. We typed this URL A. Any request will be trapped by dispatcher servlet. B. Handovers the request to handler mapping. Handovers the request to handler mapping C. Handler mapping component searches for what? Searches for what? Handler method. Handler mapping component searches for what? Handler method. whose request path is welcome, because in the request URL also welcome is there. In the request URL also welcome is there, right now, boss? In the request URL also welcome is there. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point, guys? Hmm. Okay. This method signature and controller class bean ID given to dispatcher servlet. V. Dispatcher servlet takes controller class object and calls the handler method. F. This executes the code, returns a logical view name. G. That logical view name comes to dispatcher servlet. H. Dispatcher servlet gives logical view name to view resolver. I. View resolver gives view object having physical view component name and location. Prefix, suffix, prefix plus logical view name plus suffix. Prefix plus logical view name plus suffix. That is J. This view object goes to dispatcher servlet. K. Dispatcher servlet communicates with the view component. L. This code executes. Generated output goes to dispatcher servlet. M. Okay, whatever output that is generated goes to browser as response. N. This is welcome to Spring MVC. Happy, boss? Now tell me, what flow you liked? Code-based flow or diagram-based? Tell me, my dear, what flow you liked? Code-based flow or diagram-based flow? Okay, now, if someone asks you, can you explain Spring MVC flow? You ask a reverse question. Sir, I can give code-based flow, diagram-based flow. What flow you want? What flow you want? Okay, most of the time they ask diagram-based flow only. And if you draw the diagram only, they will understand. Okay, but I have given both flows to you guys. I have given both flows to you. One is diagrammatic flow, one is code-based flow, right? Yeah, like this, we are going to develop the applications in the coming days. Okay. So are you going to forget the flow, guys? According to flow only, we develop everything. According to flow only, we are going to develop everything. A to N is Spring MVC application flow. You are based on the sample code. Based on the sample code, guys. Based on the sample code. Ultimately, DS is doing everything. Spring MVC is designed around dispatcher servlet. That means everything happens under the control. Around, boss, around. Okay. Everything happens under the control or monitoring of dispatcher servlet. Under the control and monitoring of dispatchers. Okay, boss. Yeah. Dispatcher servlet is like what, guys? Dispatcher servlet is like what? Principal of the college? Anything happens in college should happen in the under the control and monitoring of the principal. Right or wrong? Super nervous. Tomorrow we are going to develop the first application, Babu. That is displaying the home page by keeping the home page in private area. Displaying the home page by keeping the home page in private. Edit goes right. Browse guys. Comment guys. Here is spring guys. Here is my 64, right? 64715. 64 MVC third one. Don't miss tomorrow's class at any cost. Okay. Yeah. Assignment to do, guys. Install Tomcat server. Install Tomcat 10.x server. And configure with Eclipse ID. I think everyone knows Eclipse JWE ID. Okay. It's advanced Java tasker. No, it's not advanced Java task. Yeah, it's basically servlet task, but I need it in the Spring classes. I need it in Spring classes. Tomcat 10 server, not 9. In advanced Java, you have used which version of Tomcat? 10 or 9? 10 or 9? Okay, those are using 10, no tension. Those are not using 10, change it to 10. Change it to 10. If not there, download and install. In one computer, you can have any number of advanced. In one computer, you can have any number of installations of Tomcat. No problem. Thank you, guys. We'll meet tomorrow. Okay. No. First we use 10 only. First 10. 10 only. 10 only we should use forever. Thank you, guys. Tomorrow when we meet, we will enjoy what? First application development using Spring MVs. Have a nice time. Thank you.
Recording stopped.